Once upon a time, a pencil and an eraser were having a conversation about each other's job. Both of them were praising each other for their hard work. Both of them knew that they are nothing without each other. Soon, the pencil started to draw a straight line. The eraser was looking at the pencil. All of a sudden, the pencil lost its balance, and the straight line created by the pencil was ruined. Now, the pencil got very sad because she knew that the eraser would have to suffer because of her mistake. The pencil said to the eraser, "I am so sorry." The eraser did not know what the pencil was talking about, so he asked, "For what, my dear friend?" "I am sorry you get hurt because of me. Whenever I make a mistake, you are always there to erase it. But as you make my mistake vanish away, you lose a part of yourself and get smaller each time," cried the pencil. On hearing this, the eraser replied, "That is true, but I don't really mind. You see, I was made to do this. I was made to help you every time when you did something wrong. Even though one day I know I will be gone, but I am actually happy with my job. So please, stop worrying. I will not be happy if I see you sad. Thank you."
On one occasion, an expert in the law stood up to test a teacher of faith. "Teacher," he asked, "what would I do to hurt eternal life?" "What in all?" he replied. "How do you read it?" he answered. "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your mind. And love your neighbor as yourself." "You have answered correctly," the teacher replied. "Do this and you will live." But the law expert wanted to justify himself, so he asked the teacher, "And who is my neighbor?" In reply, the teacher said, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he was attacked by robbers. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. A priest happened to be going down the same road, and when he saw a man, he passed by on the other side. So too a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he traveled, came where the man was, and when he saw the man, he took pity on him. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, poured on oil and wine. He put him on his own donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day, he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper. "Look after him," he said, "and when I return, I will reimburse you for any extra expense you may have." Which of these 3 do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers? The expert in the law replied, "The one who had mercy on him." The teacher told him, "Go and do likewise." Thank you.
Many people have aloe vera plants in your home. People have been growing aloe vera for thousands of years. People have used aloe vera to help with health problems as long as 2100 BC. Aloe vera is a plant that is usually found in hot, dry places. It has long green leaves, and it is a very hard-working plant. It can be used to help cuts or burns. Aloe vera also can stick around the bed and can come from paint on the walls of houses. Aloe vera can make the air clean again. Aloe vera is also a good plant to help your room and when you sleep. If the air you breathe out, the plant's lung is on clean air that you breathe in. Growing an aloe vera plant at home is very easy. You can buy a plant at a store. Putting it in a place has plenty of sunlight. Watering plants your spray are part of the aloe vera plant. You can put this in the ground to grow again. Thank you.
Long, long ago in the forest, there were thousands of tall and beautiful trees. They were very happy but proud of themselves. Among them there were also an ugly tree whose branches were badly twisted. Its roots had iron curves. How are you, hunchback? All the trees made fun of that ugly tree and made the ugly tree feel sad. One day, a woodcutter came to the forest. He took a look at the trees and said, "These trees are lovely, I must cut them. Chop, chop, chop." Went to the woodcutter's axe, and one by one the trees started to fall. "Now what's this going to spare?" screamed one of the beautiful trees. Soon that tree too was brought to the ground by the woodcutter's axe. By now, the woodcutter had come near to the ugly tree. Then he noticed how crooked the ugly tree was. This crooked tree seems to be useless for me. I cannot make long straight stalks of this ugly tree, he thought, and he moved toward another beautiful tree. The ugly tree heaved a huge sigh of relief. He realized that he was spared from the woodcutter's axe only because he was crooked and ugly. From that day, the ugly tree was happy with his crooked branches.
是第一名的孩子讲得这么好。
One day, Einstein had to speak at an important science conference. On the way there, he told his driver to speak like him. "I'm sick of all these conferences. I always say the same thing over and over." The driver agreed and said, "You're right." As a driver, I attended all of them. And though I don't know anything about science, I could even give the conference in your place. "That's a great idea," said Einstein. "Let's switch places then." So they switched clothes as they stood their driver. The driver dressed as Einstein go on the stage and start giving the usual speech, while the real Einstein just said the car driver attended. But in the crowd, there was one scientist who wanted to impress everyone and think a very difficult question to ask Einstein, hoping he won't be able to respond. So that scientist stood up, interrupt the conference by posing his very difficult question. The whole room goes silent, holding their breath, waiting for the response. The driver looked at him, dead in the eye, and said, "Sir, your question is so easy to answer that I'm going to let my driver reply to it for me." Thank you.
Today my friend asked me a question. What would you do if you were a tree? Trees are one of my favorites. They are one of the most essential and useful things in this world. I always love the thick coconut trees around my house. If I were a tree, I would have provided shade and nests to who live around me. Birds would have found a sweet home inside me. I will inhale lots of carbon dioxide and exhale fresh oxygen for all living things around me. My legs will penetrate deep into the soil and will suck water through my roots to quench my thirst. I will produce beautiful flowers and fruits and lots of children will come and play with me. I can imagine children climbing my body, poking and eating fruits and playing beautiful swings. I will make a surrounding square and also how to produce rain. More interesting, I will be watching all of you from the top, as I will be the tallest in our surroundings.
Sherlock's Holmes and Dr. Watson are on a camping trip. It is always good to get away from the city and spend a little time in the great outdoors. On the night before they go back to the city, They stayed at a camp by the lakeside. In the middle of the night, Holmes nudges Watson awake and says, "Watson, look at the sky and tell me what you see." Dr. Watson tried to nurse Sherlock's hope, but he knows his friend will never stop until he gets the answer he wants. After Dr. Watson struggles to open his sleepy eyes, he answers, "I see millions of stars, my dear Holmes." "And what did you infer from the stars?" said Sherlock Holmes. "Well, a number of things," Dr. Watson says, lighting his pipe. "Astronomically, I observe that there are millions of galaxies and billions of stars and planets. Astrologically, I observe that Saturn is in Leo. Horologically, I deduce that the time is approximately 3:15. Meteorologically, I expect that the weather will be fine and clear. Theologically, I see God all powerful and make his creation small and insignificant." "What about you, Holmes? What do you infer from the stars?" "Dear Watson," said Sherlock, "obviously someone has stolen our tent."
One day the wolf was very hungry. Then he found a dead bird. Aha, what a luck! Now I can eat all I want. Suddenly, a piece of bone got stuck in his throat. He tried to cough it out, but it didn't work. "Oh, the bone in my throat hurts. What can I do now?" Suddenly, he remembered that a crane lived nearby the river. Then the wolf went to the crane and said, "My dear crane, if you put it on my throat with your long beak, I'll give you a present." The crane asked the wolf to look up with his mouth open. Then the crane put its head into the wolf's mouth and pulled out the bone. "Phew, what relief," the wolf said. "Now, where's my present?" asked the crane. "What present?" the wolf said. "You said that you will give me a present in my mother bone from your throat," said the crane. "Isn't it a present that you put your head in my mouth and got out alive?" said the wolf. There once was a crow who was very thirsty. He saw a bit of water at the bottom of the top clay pitcher, but his beak was too wide and the pitcher was too thin to poke his dirty tongue down in. "What shall I do?" thought the crow. "I think and think. I must get myself a drink." "Aha!" as Claude an idea came to him. He took a pebble in his beak and dropped it into a pitcher. Plop, plop, he dropped some more in. On and on he went. One by the pebble fell, slowly making the water get higher until he could drink the water with his beak. He said as he took a drink. "No problem, too big when I think and think."
"Dad, are bugs good to eat?" asked the boy. "Let's not talk about something at the dinner table, son," his father replied, and they enjoyed their dinner. After their dinner, the father asked, "Now, son, what did you want to ask me?" "No, nothing," the boy said. "There was a bug in your soup, but now it's gone."
It was a fine day during a rainy season. A peacock was dancing happily in the forest. Suddenly, he was reminded of his ugly, rough voice. His face turned pale and his eyes started watering. Suddenly, he heard a nightingale singing nearby. The peacock thought, "What a sweet voice she has! Everybody loves it, but when I utter a sound, everybody makes fun of me." Just then appeared the goddess. She asked the peacock, "Why are you sad?" The peacock said, "I have got such a beautiful body, but my voice is so bad that everyone laughs at it, so this beauty is useless." The goddess replied, "You are the only one who is unhappy. Several creatures have been gifted by God with different gifts. You, the beauty, eagle, the strength, nightingale, the sweet voice, so on and so forth. So don't grumble over your weakness. Accept it the way it is and be happy. Hence, we should not regret on what we don't have, rather be satisfied with what we have."
Two men are journeying together when one of them noticed an axe lying on the ground. "We have had a lucky find," said the one man. "Don't say we," replied the other. "Say you have had a find." Later, the people who had lost the axe came and come to them, and the people who had it, seeing the owners in pursuit, said, "We are done for." "Don't say we," his companion answered. "Say I am done for, since when you found the axe, you will not let me show possession of it." So this story tells us that if we do not give our friend a share of our good fortune, they will not be faithful to us in adversity.
A son and his father were walking in the mountains. Suddenly, his son falls, hurts himself, and screams, "Ah!" To his surprise, he heard a voice repeating, somewhere in the mountain, "Ah!" Curious, he yells, "Who are you?" He receives the answer, "Who are you?" He looks at his father and asks, "What's going on?" The father smiles and says, "My son, pay attention, and then straight to the mountain. I admire you." The voice answers, "I admire you." Again the man screams, "You are a champion." The voice replies, "You are a champion." The boy is surprised, but does not understand. Then the father explained, "People call this echo, but really this is life. It gives you back everything you say or do. Our life is simply a reflection of our actions. Life will give you back everything you have given to it."
Everyone lives in the communities. People and communities need to be good citizens. A citizen is a member of the community, state, or country. There are many ways to be a good citizen. A good citizen respects others, treats others as they should be treated. A good citizen follows rules. We have rules that we must all follow. Rules keep a community clean and safe. Another way to be a good citizen is to help others. Try to be a good neighbor. Good neighbors help each other and care for one another. Thank you.
Carter family has two girls, Mary and Kate. Mary is a little girl. She's only 6. She doesn't go to school. Certainly she doesn't know how to read and write. But her older sister Kate is a schoolgirl. She's 10. One day, Mom and Dad go to the grocery store downtown. Kate is 4, and she wants to watch TV in the living room. When she goes there, she sees Mary sitting at the table. She is doing something on the table, and she even doesn't notice Kate. Kate walks to Mary and asks, "What are you doing, Mary?" Mary says, "I'm writing a letter to my friend, Rose." Kate is confused. She thought her sister hasn't gone to school yet. So Kate said, "But how can you? You don't know how to write." Hearing this, Mary hold her head up and said happily, "It doesn't matter because she doesn't know how to read."
We
talk every day. When we have good news, we like to share with our good friends. And when something terrible happens, we make it known to others soon. But can you imagine that the tree can talk and share too? Of course, no tree motives, and that's what just as people do. Strange as it may sound though, some trees do communicate with each other. Willow trees are the best known of these trees. When insects begin nibbling the willow tree, the tree spins out a special smell at once. This smell tells the other willows that harmful insects are coming near. All of them quickly make a chemical in their leaves. This chemical is bad from insects. The insects do not like it, and they fly away soon. In this way, the willow tree protects itself from the insects. The next time people walk in the woods, maybe the trees start talking to each other quietly. And when someone says that trees cannot talk, please tell them that every tree do messages to each other too. Thank you.
Look up at the night sky. What can you see? Before it got too bright, people could even see about 2,500 different stars. Now that fills the skies over our cities. This is called light pollution. Because of it, people in cities can often only see about 10 stars. Most of the time light helps us, but light isn't always good. We need time of dark to rest. 100 years ago, we have lost time of dark. Now the night is like day. Some scientists are studying the health effects of light pollution. Other scientists are stop light pollution and make our life better. For example, many streetlights now have covers. The cover focuses the light toward the ground. They stop the light from going up into the sky. They also save energy. The covers are a small change, but they still have a positive effect. Thank you.
Once there was a naughty rabbit. One day, the rabbit ran far away into a forest. There he saw a spring. While the rabbit was drinking water in the spring, a wolf watched from behind a tree. A rabbit. My lucky day, the wolf thought, approaching the rabbit. You know this forest belongs only to wild animals like me. Why have you come to my take water from the spring? Asked Wolf. The rabbit knew that wolves were dangerous animals. He wants to eat me for his lunch. I must escape from this animal, he thought. This way, both the rabbit and the wolf looked to each other carefully. The rabbit heard some woodcutters. They were kind of way between rabbit and wolf, saying, if I can keep talking to the least wolf for a little longer, the woodcutters will be here. They will chase away, thought the rabbit. This way, the rabbit kept for a few more minutes. The woodcutters arrived. These are both the rabbit and wolf. They cut the wolf bitten before letting him go. The rabbit ran back to his mother, and then he promised his mother never to wander into the forest again. Thank you.
One day, a man was walking by a wood and he heard a cat meowing from bushes nearby. The cat was done and getting help getting out. When the man ran out, the cat got scared and scratched the man. The man is angry and painful, didn't back down. He tried again and again, even as the cat continued to touch his hands. Another passerby saw this and said, "Then let it be. The cat will find a way to come on later." The man didn't pay heed, but tried again to help the cat. Once he helped the cat free, he told the other man, "The cat is an animal and its instincts make him scratch and attack. I am a human and my instincts make me compassionate and kind."
Mrs. Lee is shopping at the supermarket with her 3 children. She looks worried. Her husband has no work and she only has a little money for food. A young man is working at the supermarket. His name is Jeff. Jeff is storing all vegetables into a box. "What are you going to do with these vegetables?" Mrs. Lee asks. "I'm going to throw it in the garbage," Jeff says. "Can I have them?" Mrs. Lee asks. "We have a pet rabbit. I can give the vegetables to the rabbit." "Sure, you can have the vegetables," Jeff says. He gives Mrs. Lee a big box of all vegetables. The Lee family doesn't really have a rabbit. Mrs. Lee wants the old vegetables to make soup for her family. Every week, Jeff gives Mrs. Lee a box of vegetables for the rabbit. Sometimes, Mrs. Lee finds cans of soup under the vegetables. Sometimes she finds soap, juice, or baby food. When Mrs. Lee goes to the supermarket one day, Jeff is not there. He doesn't work at the supermarket anymore, but it doesn't matter. Mrs. Lee's husband is working again. She doesn't need any old vegetables. 10 years later, Mrs. Lee is shopping at the supermarket when she sees Jeff. He is standing in the store's office. He is the store manager now. "Mrs. Lee," Jeff says, "I think of you and your family often." Then he asks quietly, "How's the rabbit?" "Thank you for asking," Mrs. Lee says and smiles. "The rabbit left a long time ago. We are all doing fine. Thank you."
Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson are in a camping trip. It is always good to get away from the city and spend a little time in the great outdoors. On the night before they go back to the city, they sit on the tent by the lakeside. In the middle of the night, Holmes nudges Watson away and says, "Watson, look up at the sky and tell me what you see." Dr. Watson tried to ignore Sherlock Holmes, but he knows his friend will never stop until he gets the answer he wants. After Dr. Watson struggled to open his sleeping eyes, he answered, "I see millions of stars, my dear Holmes." "And what do you infer from these stars?" said Sherlock Holmes. "Well, I name all the things," Dr. Watson said, lighting his pipe. "Astronomically, I observe there are millions of galaxies and billions of stars and planets. Astrologically, I observe the Saturns in Leo. Horologically, I deduce the time is approximately 3:15. Meteorologically, I expect the water will be fine here. Theologically, I see that God is all-powerful and made his creation small and insignificant. What about you, Holmes? What do you infer from this star?" "Dear Watson," said Sherlock, "obviously, someone has stolen our tent." Thank you.
Once there was a jungle which had many lions. One day, 2 trees who were friends were talking. The first tree said, "These lions are dangerous. We have to save our jungle from them. They must be driven out of this jungle." "Yes," said the other tree. An old tree who was listening said, "They might be dangerous, but these trees are keeping us safe from woodcutters." But the 2 friends decided to scare the lions away. "We will scare the lions away. They will be so scared that they will leave this jungle." "Don't do that," shouted the wise tree. But the 2 friends didn't listen. They began moving the wind and making eerie noises. All the other lions in the forest were scared. All the other lions fled the jungle. Now we can enjoy some fresh air," they said. One day, a woodcutter came to the forest.
Now there's no fear of the dangerous lands. Soon there came other wood cutters. A little later, of the 2 trees branches were brought down by the wood cutter's axe. Day by day, more and more trees were destroyed by many wood cutters.
Dad, are bugs good to eat? Asked the boy. Let's not talk about such thing as the dinner table, son, the father replied, and they enjoyed the dinner. After dinner, the father asked, Now, son, what did you want to ask me? Oh, nothing, the boy said. There was a bug in your soup, but now it's gone.
There once was a man who was extremely miser. He used to work a lot so that he could save more and more money. But he hardly spent a penny. He had collected all his money during his lifespan, and he would oftentimes wish to put all his money with him when he died. He wanted to take all his spent money with him to heaven. Every day he would say to his wife, Promise me that you'll put all my money in my grave with me. Every day his wife agreed to him. After some years the man died. After the funeral, when his body was put in the coffin and it was about to close, the wife stopped there. She went to her husband's coffin and put a box beside him. Then the coffin was closed. The woman's friend asked her, Tell me, did you really put all money in that box like he asked? The wife replied, Yes, I did. Her friend said, Are you mad? You have put all money in it? I have deposited all the money in the bank and made a check for it and put it in that box, she replied, and walked away happily. Thank you. One day, a wolf was very hungry. Then he found a dead bird. Aha! What a luck! Now I can eat all I want. Suddenly, a piece of bone got stuck in his throat. He tried to cough it out, but it didn't work. Oh, the bone in my throat hurts. What can I do now? Suddenly, he remembered that a crane lived near by the river. The wolf went to the crane and said, My dear crane, if you pull it out of my throat with your long beak, I'll give you a present. The crane asked the wolf to look up with his mouth open. Then the crane put its head into the wolf's mouth and pulled out the bone. Oh, what a relief, the wolf said. Now, where's my present? Asked the crane. What present? The wolf said. You said that you would give me a present if I removed the bone from your throat, said the crane. Isn't it a present that you put your head into my mouth and got out alive? Thank you.
About 6 years ago, I went to a store to buy a pair of jeans. I want a pair of jeans, I said. Do you want them slim fit, easy fit, relaxed fit, baggy, or extra baggy? She replied. Do you want them stone-washed, acid-washed, or distressed? Do you want them button-fly or zipper-fly? Do you want them faded or regular? I was stunned. A moment or two later, I spurted out something like, I just want regular jeans. You know, the kind that used to be the only kind. It turned out she didn't know. But after consulting one of her older colleagues, she was able to figure out what regular jeans used to be. And she pointed me in the right direction. The jeans I chose turned out just fine. But it occurred to me that buying a pair of pants should not be a day-long project. By creating all these options, The store undoubtedly had done a favor for customers with varied tastes and body types. However, by vastly expanding the range of choices, they had also created a new problem that needed to be solved. Before these options were available, purchasing jeans was a 5-minute affair. Now it was a complex decision in which I was forced to invest time and energy with anxiety and dread. As the number of choices grows further, the negatives until we become overloaded. At this point, choice no longer liberates, but debilitates. Thank you.
There once was a crow who was very thirsty. He saw a bit of water at the bottom of a tall clay pitcher, but his beak was too wide and the pitcher was too thin to poke his dirty tongue down in. What shall I do? Thought the crow. I think, I must get myself a drink. Aha! Exclaimed Crow, as an idea came to him. He took a pebble in his beak and dropped it into a pitcher. Plop, plop, he dropped more in. On and on he went. One by one the pebbles fell, slowly making the water get higher until I could drink the water with his beak. Ah, he said as he took a drink. No problem, it's too big when I think and think.
One day, a man was walking by the road when he heard a cat meowing for the bushes nearby. The cat was stuck in the house getting out. When the man reached out, the cat got scared and scratched the man. The man screamed in pain but didn't back down. He tried again and again. Even the cat continued to scratch his head. Another passerby saw this and said, "Just let it be. The cat will find a way to come out later." The man didn't pay heed, but tried till he held the cat. When he let the cat free, he told the other man, "The cat is an animal, and instincts make it scratch and attack. I am human, and my instincts make it compassionate and kind."
Thank you.
A lost dog wanders into a jungle and a lion sees it from a distance. The lion says with caution, "This guy looks edible. I've never seen his kind before." So the lion starts rushing towards the dog with menace. The dog notices the lion and starts to panic. But as he's about to run away, he sees some bones next to him and gets an idea. He says loudly, there was some delicious lion meat." The lion stops abruptly and says, "Whoa, this dog seems tougher than he looks. I better leave while I can." Over by a treetop, a monkey witnessed everything. That he can benefit this situation by telling the lion and getting something in return. So the monkey proceeds to tell the lion what will happen. The lion, filled with anger, says to the monkey, "Get on my back. We'll get him together." So let's start rushing back to the dog. The dog sees them and realizes what happened and starts to panic even more. But then he gets another idea and shouts, "Where on earth is that monkey? I told him to bring me another lion an hour ago." Thank you.
Henry was a salesman. He was a good salesman and a lot of vacuum cleaners. One week, the man dressed Henry into the countryside to sell. He drove over town and stopped at a friend's house. He knocked on the door and the farmer's wife opened it. Henry started into his speech immediately. "Ma'am, how much time do you spend sweeping the floors?" "A lot of time. There is a farm, and things get dirty quickly," said the woman. "And how much time do you spend beating the carpets?" asked Henry. "A lot of time. Let's hope it does tea, and my dog also lays on them." "Well," said Henry, That is your lucky day. Henry showed her his vacuum cleaners and said, "You can clean the house with 5 minutes with this." The farmer's wife didn't look interested. Henry took a big bag of dirt. He opened it and threw it all over the floor. The farmer's wife was very surprised. Before she could speak, Henry said, "Ma'am, if this machine didn't pick up every last piece of dirt, I will eat all of it." The farmer's wife looked at Henry and said, "Well, I will give you a spoon. We have no electricity." Thank you.
Do you like cheese? If you do, have you ever tried blue cheese? Most Taiwanese people are scared of eating blue cheese because of its dark blue spot. However, its strong cheese smell makes it popular with many people around the world. Let me tell some interesting facts about blue cheese. Blue cheese has been around the 9th century. People found it by chance inside a cave in Italy. They tried it and were surprised at its wonderful great taste. There, they decided to make blue cheese for themselves. They made it with cow, sheep, and goat milk. Other ways to eat blue cheese is common to have it by itself. However, some people like to eat it with herbs because it adds a strong flavor to it. For example, they think that blue cheese goes best with pizza, baked pears, hamburgers, and salad with lemon pieces. After hearing interesting facts about blue cheese, do you want to give it a try? Who knows, you might just like it. Thank you.
There was 2 brothers, Jack and Tom. They loved to explore the forest and go on adventures. One day, they heard about a terrible monster terrorizing a kingdom. Jack and Tom decided to defeat the monster and bring peace to the land. They searched high and low until they found a boat that sang a beautiful melody. The singing boat led them to the monster there. With courage in their heart, they battled the monster using a boat as a weight. They won the fight. Thank you.
Thursday is April 22nd, but kids can help the planet all year long. These kids are helping to keep the planet clean. They are picking up trash on the beach. Keep listening to learn how you can help. You can turn off the tap. Saving water helps the planet. Turn on the faucet while you brush your teeth. Take a shower instead of a bath. You can plant a tree. Trees are good for the planet. They make clean air for us to breathe. Study these 5 steps. They show you how to make a treat. Would you like to make a treat this Thursday? Ask an adult to help you. You can ride a bike. Cars and trains cause pollution. Choosing to walk or bike helps keep the air clean. Plus, biking is good exercise. You can recycle, set paper, metal, and plastic aside. They can be recycled and made into something new. You can turn the lights. This saves energy. Using too much energy is wasteful. Turn the lights when you follow. Thank you.
Accidental celebration. A woman and a man get into a car accident, and it is a bad one. Both cars are totally demolished, but amazingly, neither of them is hurt. After the crew of the cars, the woman says, "So you are a man? That's interesting. And I'm a woman. Wow, just look at our cars. There's nothing left. But fortunately, we are unhurt. This must be a sign for God that we should meet and become friends, and live together at peace for the rest of our days." The man replied, "I agree with you completely. This must be a sign for God." The woman continued,
And look at this. Here's another miracle. My car is completely demolished, but this bottle of Morgan David wine didn't break. Surely God says to Jimmy's wine and silver are good fortune. So she hands the bottle to the man. The man nods his head in agreement, opens it and takes a few big sweet brown bottle and hands it back to the woman. The woman takes the bottle and immediately puts the cap back on and hands it back to the man. The man takes the bottle and asks, "Are you having any?" The woman replies, "No, I think I'll just wait for the police." Thank you.
The weather was very cold. Snow was falling. The roads were covered with ice, and the strong wind was blowing. It was not a good night to be outside. Thomas Andrews, however, had to walk home from work. He had to walk along a country road. As he walked, the cold wind beat against his chest. "It will be warmer," he thought, "if I wear my coat backwards." He stopped walking for a moment, took off his coat, and put it on backwards. "That's much better," he thought, and walked on through the sticky falling snow. A few moments later, a car hit him. The driver of the car had not seen him soon enough. When he tried to stop, the car skidded on the ice. The driver got off his car and ran to help Thomas. Soon a police car arrived. The policeman ran to look at Mr. Andrews, who was lying on the ground. "I'm afraid he's dead," he told the driver. The driver could not believe this. "He can't be dead," he shouted. "I hardly touched him. Look at my car. There's not a mark on it." "He's dead," the policeman said. "There's no doubt." "I don't understand it," the driver of the car said. "As soon as I hit him, I ran to help him. He was lying in the road, but he was breathing, and there was no blood." "Did you touch him?" the policeman said. "Yes," the driver of the car said, "but only to turn his head around the right way." Thank you.
It was a very special weekend camping trip for Carlos and his daughter Emma. They packed up all their gear and headed out to the woods. They arrived at the campsite just as it got dark. As they lay down for the night, Emma said, "Dad, look up at the sky and tell me what you see." Carlos answered, "I see thousands and thousands of stars." "And what does that tell you?" asked Emma. "It tells me that there are lots of stars and planets out there. It tells me that we are just a small part of this gigantic universe. It tells me that there is a lot more still to discover. It tells me that the weather tomorrow will be very nice." Carlos went on and on about the beautiful night sky. Finally, he said, "Emma, what does this sign of millions of stars tell you?" "It tells me that you forgot to pack the tent." Thank you. I am taking my parents to court to prove I am an innocent kid. The judge surely agreed that they were wrong about what I did. Just because all my fingers are sticky and chocolate was on my face doesn't mean I stole those cookies. I have an alibi. When the cookie got stolen, I was outside. You have no innocence on your side, just mine. I think the real cook snuck inside a merciful disguise. Maybe he was disguised as me. I really cannot say. All I know is I did not steal any cookie at that day. Now, Judge, I ask for sympathy, so please tell jury to say I'm not guilty, and to say it's in a hurry. The jury is back. The verdict's in.
Guilty? That cannot be. I have got all the evidence it could have set me free. Where did I go wrong? And what will my sentence be? 3 years for washing dishes. No, no way. They can mean me. Next time I take my parents to court, I will make sure what I said is actually the truth. Thank you.
A man and his wife own a ranch and have just lost one of the boats. They need to replace it, but they only have $500. The wife tells her husband, I will go to the market and see. If I can find one for under $500, if I can, I will send you a telegram. The next day, she go to the market and find a boat for $499. Having only $1 left. She go to the telegram office and find out it costs $1 per word. She starts on how to tell her husband. Bring the wagon and trailer. She thinks long and hard on what she should send to her husband. Finally, she tells operator to send her comfort ball. Skeptical the operator. It's her. How will he know to come with a trailer from just one word? Don't worry, he's a slow reader. The wife replies. Back at ranch, the husband reads a telegram. Comfortable. Oh, I am on my way, honey. Thank you.
Achilles and the tortoise is one of a number of theoretical discussions of movement put forward by the Greek philosophers in the 5th century BC. It begins with the great hero Achilles challenging a tortoise to a foot race. To keep things fair, he agrees to give a tortoise a head start of, say, 500 meters. When the race begins, Achilles unsurprisingly starts running at a speed much faster than the tortoise, so that by the time he has reached the 500-meter mark, the tortoise has only walked 15 meters further than him. But by the time Achilles has reached the 550-meter mark, the tortoise has walked another 5 meters. And by the time he has reached the 555-meter mark, the tortoise has walked another 0.5 meters, then 0.25 meters, then 0.125 meters, and so on. This process continues again and again over an infinite series of smaller and smaller distances, with the tortoise always moving forwards while Achilles always plays catch-up. Logically, this leads to proof that Achilles can never overtake the tortoise. Whenever he reaches somewhere that tortoise has been, he will always have some distance still left to go, no matter how small it might be. Except, of course, we know intuitively that he can overtake the tortoise. The trick here is not to think of the Achilles paradox in terms of distances and the races, but rather as an example of how any finite value can always be divided an infinite number of times, no matter how small its divisions might become. Thank you.
The winter is coming, and all men Jeff was shopping pen in it. When the weather became more frozen, it had turned more painful. You were half going to bear it. Jeff decided to visit a doctor to seek remedy for a terrible pain in his neck. The doctor replied, I'm sorry, but this could be due to your old age. He further explained why nothing can be done to help with the pain. Jeff got angry and questioned the doctor about his ability and expertise. He saw the doctor was trying to fool him. His Anger the daughter. He asked Jack, how can you say that I know nothing and I have fall for a pen in your leg? Seeing the daughter began angry, Jack's innocent replied, it is quite obvious you are wrong. My island is over sand and cube has no pen at all. Thank you.
As a child, Alan Robert was afraid of heights. One day, when he was 12, he returned home from school. At the front door of his building, he looked for his keys. He didn't have them. It was 3:30, and his parents worked until 6 o'clock p.m. Alan looked at his apartment from the 8th floor. He saw an open window. He closed his eyes and pictured himself climbing the building. When he opened his eyes, he told himself, I can do it. 15 minutes later, he was in his heights and his fear of heights was gone. Today, Alan still climbs buildings. In 2003, he climbed a building in London, dressed as Spider-Man to advertise the movie. In 2004, he climbed Taipei 101, one of the tallest buildings in the world. To reach the top of the building, Alan uses his hands and special shoes. He has no rope or other silly tools. Alan climbs a hobby. He also does it to make money for charity. When he climbs, he wants to send a message to people. If you have a dream, it can become real. But you must be brave and keep trying. If something bad happens, don't get up. Close your eyes and tell yourself, I can do it. Thank you, Emma.
Have you ever noticed that some people hold their bowls while eating, while some people just leave the bowls on the table, and that some put their napkin on their lap, while some don't? Every country has different rules to follow. It is important to know the table manners before visiting the country. For example, we need to know how to use the tableware like forks and knives when we are in America or Europe. Besides, we can make noises when we are eating, and the spoons are for the soup. However, when we are in Japan, the Japanese use chopsticks, not spoons. When they are having soup, they hold their bowls to their mouth and make noises. Making noises means that the food is delicious. I notice Koreans don't hold their bowls while eating. I get it because the bowl is too hot to hold, since they're made of iron. The idea behind all table manner is to be polite and to make other people comfortable. And it's also interesting to learn those table manners. Thank you.
A young boy walks into town on market day. He sees a strange man. The man has a big bird and wants to sell it at the market. The bird has bright red, green, and blue feathers on its wings. 12 gold pieces, only 12 gold pieces, calls out the man. 12 gold pieces for a bird? That's crazy, the young boy says. My parrot talks, and I want 12 gold pieces for it, the man answers. Then the bird says, that's right. The young boy runs home. In 5 minutes, he comes back to the marketplace. He has his father's turkey. He says, 20 gold pieces. Everybody in the market laughs. 20 gold pieces for a turkey? Are you crazy? They all say, well, he answers, that man there wants 12 gold pieces for his bird. Yes, but that bird has a skill. It talks. They argue, I know, his bird talks, but my bird thinks. I want 20 gold pieces. Thank you. Right after Zach's wedding, his wife's mother came to live with them. She was not an easy woman to live with. She was always complaining and never seemed to stop talking. Zach knew his wife would not listen to any criticism of her mother. She is my mother, he said. I must respect her, and so must you. As the months passed, Zach became more and more unhappy. If only, he thought, there were some ways of stopping his mother-in-law from talking all the time. Then one day she was ill. She complained, of course. She was hot, she was cold, her legs ached, her head ached. She couldn't eat, she couldn't sleep. At last, Zach sent for the doctor. The doctor arrived. He examined her and then put a thermometer in her mouth. He wanted to take her temperature. Sit quietly, he said, and don't open your mouth. Zach watched with surprise, and his mother-in-law lay in bed with the thermometer in her mouth, and her mouth closed. For the first time since his wedding, he could not hear his mother-in-law's voice. He walked up to the doctor, pointed at the thermometer, and whispered in the doctor's ear, "How much do you want for that thing?" Thank you. Do you usually study hard? Can you always concentrate on your studies? If you find it hard to concentrate for your study, here are some helpful tips. The first thing to do is to choose a good place to study. If you study at home, find a quiet corner away from the television and the bed. Do not face the window. If it's noisy at home, study in the library. Seeing other people concentrating on their studies helps you concentrate too. Whether you study at home or in the library, make sure that nothing on the desk will distract you. Before starting to studies, list on the small notebook what you are going to study. Think about how much time you have, and then decide the amount of time for each task. Take a 10 minutes break between two tasks. Take a good rest after break. After finishing a task, cross it out on the list. It gives you a sense of achievement. And because you want to get more done, you concentrate more. Reward yourself on the weekend if you finish all the work during a week. Yeah, but I have to say, it's easy to say all these things, but it really isn't easy to do it. You've all been students before, and I believe you know what I'm saying. Thank you.
Master，我需要请 Master。